What's good, Dion? Yeah, Dion, you're gonna get back on you're gonna get back on the lives, right? I know you said you're gonna get back on it. Just open up my YouTube real quick and all right, y'all. Hey Sandra, what's going on? Yeah, we so used to calling you K Dot. We so used to calling you K Dot. That's why. But yeah, I've gotten so used to calling you K Dot. So calling you Dion has it's been an adjustment for me too, to call you Dion. But we've been so used to calling you K Dot. But all right, guys, what is good? What is up? What's going on, y'all? I appreciate y'all being here. Once again, we are live. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna open up the call line now. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna open up the call lines in a moment. All right, y'all. And if y'all didn't know, Monday is my birthday. This Monday coming up will be my birthday. This Monday coming up will be my birthday. So I appreciate if y'all send me some gifts. All right. Some gifts. Donations. Donations. What's going on, Smoking Flocka? All right, y'all. So we are starting the live up right now. I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are wonderful. Appreciate all of the supporters and appreciate y'all if y'all watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction and on my channel, Valsy Thoughts. Thank y'all so much for being here. Once again, if you would like to call in or like to be part of the discussion, the phone number, the call line is now live. And yes, y'all, Monday is gonna be my birthday. Hey, Resist, I appreciate that. I appreciate the $3.99 Resist. Thank y'all so much, man. My mods are amazing, y'all. My mods are so amazing. Thank y'all so much for the $3.99. Thank you so much for that. All right, a whole lot of ones with a whole lot of nuns, all day, every day. Appreciate you so much. Can we get an inspirational quote? Yeah, sure. Fuck Donald Trump. There's your inspirational quote. That's the best inspirational quote that I could give you right now. All right. That's the inspirational quote for my birthday. Fuck Donald Trump. Okay. All right, y'all. So the phone lines are now open if we want to go ahead and call in, and then we'll go ahead and get the live started. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Let me go ahead and change up this gift goal. I'm going to change up the gift goal real quick, and we're just waiting for someone who would like to call in and like to be part of the live and like to go ahead and have a discussion. Once again, we appreciate you all for being here. I definitely appreciate you for being here. Join the club, join the cult. If y'all don't know, that's my little club here I got here. That's the cult. All right, y'all. Gift goal is pinned. If you see the gift goal. Oh, the quotes are being cut off. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and move this down a little bit. That should be better if you can see it. It says being woke is good. Systemic racism is real. Leftist policies are better for society. There is no good evidence for a God. Faith is unreliable for finding truth. So if you'd like to discuss any of those, go ahead and come on up and bring them in. Yeah, Taoism isn't about faith. I know that. Taoism is something completely different because Eastern religions are like way different from Western religions. I know that. Western religion is something way different. Oh wait, the code is that's my little inside joke. All right, that's my little inside joke because I used to get a lot of like religious people and Christians, especially on my lives, saying that I'm creating a cult of atheism. So I just kind of lean into it. All right, cool. I'm creating a cult of atheism. Join the cult then. Empress, thank you so much for having me hit my goal. Thank you so much, Empress. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Empress, for helping me hit my goal. We're gonna go ahead and move to another goal. Let's see what we have here. Let's move to a dolphin. Yeah, I've never done that before. I'm gonna go ahead and get the dolphin. All right. Let's hit that dolphin for a goal. Let's see what we get there. But yeah, y'all tap that screen so we can get this out into the algorithm. The phone lines are now open. If you'd like to call in and have a discussion with me, the phone lines are now open. And once again, we appreciate you. All right, so Robin, if you think what I'm saying is BS, the phone line's open. You can go ahead and call in and we can have a discussion and talk about it. Here's the thing, y'all. The moment you say something in the comments, I don't watch them all the time, especially when I'm talking to somebody. But if you say something in the comments and I see it, I'm going to actually just call in. Yeah, I mean, might as well have the discussion instead of... All right, we have a person coming up right now. All right, we have Mar on the line. Mar, how's it going, Mar? Are you at least 18? And which number did you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm over 18 and 1.
Let's talk about number 1. All right, cool. Yeah, I think being woke is good. Let's first establish our terms. Woke is being aware of racial and social injustice. It's primarily because it came from the Black community. It was primarily against Black people. It has extended from that now. So now it's being aware of racial and social injustice. Basically, period. But primarily came from the Black community for us to communicate to each other, to be aware of the racism around us and to understand how to survive that racism. So I think that's a good thing to have. Do you think that's a bad thing to have?
So yeah, my understanding of woke is like being aware of and paying attention to like social inequity and systemic injustice.
Yeah, you can that can be part of it as well because it has expanded. Do you think that's bad?
So I mean, with it continuously expanding in a sense, yeah.
Why would being aware of like systemic injustices, racism, discrimination, why would that be a bad thing? Because like if I know that a company or a policy or a government or a certain area of society is discriminating against disabled people, being aware of that, advocating against it, that would be a good thing, right? So why would the expansion be bad? Unless you're saying that we should restrict it back to Black people. If you're saying that we should restrict it back to Black people, I'm not going to really argue against. I don't have any beef against that. But if we expand it to other people who are systemically discriminated against, I don't have any beef with that either. So like, which one are you saying?
I mean, I would say both of them for sure, leaning more towards, making it more narrow because now you have people chiming in on certain things and they don't really have any experience on. And then secondly, us chiming in on other people's experiences that we don't have any business on.
Okay, so you're saying that stay woke should stay within the Black community and it shouldn't be expanding outside of that?
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. It would make the most sense.
I don't have any beef with that.
Yeah, but even the second part where you were saying that the second part, you was pretty much saying like being able to being able to advocate for something that you don't have any like experience in is like, and then like how should I say, extremists, like, you know what I mean? Because this is about, social inequality and systemic justice. So it's like, we'll see like, left people, they're like, oh, well, people are getting treated bad and woo woo. But it's like, they just are only saying that because they're seeing the tabloids and the news article and all this stuff. Like they really don't have a cousin, getting hurt from violence or getting sent away, to another country. Like they really don't have any experience in this, but they're emotionally tied into it. And that's why I don't really appreciate it, because it's like too emotional for real.
I would say two things. Number one, just because you don't go through something doesn't mean you can't advocate for the change, right? I think that would be a mistake to do that just because like I'm not disabled or I'm not trans or I'm not gay or I'm not a woman. I shouldn't advocate for changes in society for those people. You see what I'm saying? Because I do like the MLK quote: "An injustice somewhere is an injustice everywhere." You see what I'm saying? So, and just for my profession, because I'm going to be a mental health counselor, like I'm not just going to see black men, right? I'm not going to see just straight black men. Now that's going to be my primary focus. That's going to be my primary focus. But if a disabled veteran comes into my office, yeah, well, I'm going to say, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to see you because you're a disabled vet, and I'm a vet, but I'm not disabled, so I can't see you. That wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it? You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I would say. Like I get that there are people out there who don't really know a lot about these issues and are only doing it because that's the social popularity at the moment. That is true, and that could be annoying. And then we need to check those people, right? Definitely 100% true. But if I'm hearing that, AT&T is no longer serving people who can't hear, or no longer serving deaf people, I'll be like, yo, that's fucked up, AT&T. I'm going to protest against that. Why would I not?
I mean, like real quick, I'll like respond to that, but it's just like almost performative. At least my biased standpoint is just like performative. Like it's like when you hear about those male feminists, it's like you really have no clue of what femininity is. You know what I mean? Like you don't experience, like although you can read all this literature and blah blah, but it's like you have nothing but emotions for it. You know what I mean? And then to answer that question, it's like yeah, you can boycott it, but it's like emotional, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you're not even disability, you're not even the person with the hearing problem or the disability. It's like you're just emotionally taking on this baggage just to do it. And again, as a mental health advisor, you should know like about emotional damage. You know what I mean? Like you should know not to not to do that to yourself. You should know that at a certain point, it actually becomes unhealthy to show empathy.
No, it's not. No, it's unhealthy to get taken advantage of, and it's also unhealthy to not have your emotions in check. But showing empathy is not something that's not unhealthy. Of course, you can show empathy, but of course, you shouldn't take on trauma that's not your own, right? And yeah, you should be very, very careful. If you're a person that's very, very easily triggered and very, very easily traumatized, you should not go out seeking traumatic content. You should not go out seeking like traumatic like images or anything like that. So yeah, of course, protect your emotional space. No one is saying like a person who's easily triggered, very, very sensitive, to go out there and look at pictures of children in the Congo dying, because it's going to become unhealthy, right? But if you're a person that actually is capable enough to understand these things, and you see children dying in the Congo, and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to call my senator, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and donate to this organization, or I'm going to volunteer my time to send food or anything like that, or clothing or anything like that, with this organization to make sure the children of the Congo are okay. Why would someone not do that? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? If they have the time and if they have the bandwidth for it. If they don't have the time or the bandwidth, no one's gonna blame them. But if it becomes a conversation and be like, yeah, that's messed up what's happening over there, I don't think that's a problem. You're aware of it, and you're saying that you're gonna become educated on it, and if you have to do something about it, do something about it. But like, of course, someone can't do everything, right? Someone can't do everything. But my position is that just because I'm not a woman and I'll never understand what it's like to be a woman because I'm cisgender and I'm heterosexual, just because those are those things does not mean that I'm like that I shouldn't say, okay, misogyny in our society is a bad thing. These content creators who are pushing misogyny are fucking up our boys' heads, and we should be pushing back against that. Why would I not do that? Because a lot of these kids who believe in that type of content are going to grow up to abuse their family members, especially their female family members. So yeah, we're going to advocate against it. Why not?
Yeah, that was a lot. I mean, like I said, on face value, it just all sounds good, but like ultimately, you know what I mean? Like respectfully, like it is very performative, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day,
I need you to clarify that. I need you to clarify that. When you say it's performative, are you saying that the fact that I notice that there's an issue of misogyny in our society, and it's
Mhm.
causing young men to become abusive to the women in their lives. Therefore, I want to push back against it, especially in the way I know how I'm being performative.
But it's like, what is like? Because like to me, when I think about it, it's just like really like the only thing I see is like fresh and fit in them. You know what I mean? Like I really don't see like what you're saying, because like again, like this was all. I mean, because if we're gonna say that there's misogyny being perpetrated, I don't even know if I use that correctly. It's like, well, are you going to dismantle patriarchy? Because like that's the whole. In order for misogyny to exist, I'm sure like that had was a effect of the cause of the patriarch. So what?
Was more than
Like,
fresh and fit. It's content creators I don't even know that have a whole bunch of followers, because I do know Sneeko was a part of that as well. Nick Fuentes is a part of it as well. You'll
Sneeko
be
cool.
you'll be surprised how many people follow Nick Fuentes. You know what I mean? And it's not just them. It's older creators like a Joe Rogan or a what's the guy name? The guy that used to be on Fox, Tucker Carlson. You know what I mean? They all platform these type of people who promote these type of ideologies. You see what I'm saying? And Joe Rogan is the most popular podcaster on the planet. Millions of young men listen to him, and he platforms people who say stuff like this all the time. And he also platforms like, conspiracy theories and anti science people. He platforms those type of folks all the time. That becomes a problem. You see what I'm saying? So the way that I know how to push back on it, the only way I know how to push back on it is through mental health and doing discussions like these, right? And that's how we push back on it. What I'm asking you is, if I see that this is a problem, if I see my nephew becoming disrespectful to his mother, who's my sister, and being abusive to the women in his lives or the girls in his life, of course I'm gonna be like, what's happening with my nephew? And I'm gonna try to steer him another way. Why would I not do that? How is it performative to say that I want him to be a normal young man who's not abusive and incel like? How is that performative?
Yeah, I mean, like in that instance, in that analogy, it wouldn't be performative. Clearly, like you're counseling, you're a family member. But the reason it is performative is like because it's like, again, like how can you acknowledge that there is such thing as a patriarch, and then you acknowledge that there's like 50-year-olds that have this same ideology, to where it's like it's not just the content creators, it's not woo woo. It's probably like we ought to look at the root cause and attack something else rather than just, and that's when it becomes performative, because it's like no one's really attacking the root cause or even speculating the root cause. They're just advocating for all these random niche things, and it just really is for the impression. You know what I mean? Like
the root cause is patriarchy. We agree with that. The root cause is patriarchy. Dismantling that is going to take a lot. It's not just going to take theory. It's going to take maybe even policy changes. We're not sure. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure how to dismantle patriarchy. I'll tell you that much right now. I have no idea how to do it, because men aren't the only ones who push patriarchy. Like, I have two older sisters. Trust me, the first time I heard men don't cry is from my mom. So it's not just men who's upholding patriarchy. So of course that conversation is difficult, but we can do what we can do at the moment, right? In order to help that further that along, right?
I mean, yeah, I agree, but I agree with that. But I just want to say one more thing. Like
Sure.
when you were talking about someone like a Joe Rogan, and that's kind of like my idea of like what woke has become, to where it just has become like they just go overboard, and everything's a conspiracy. Like they just against everything, and that's why I was saying like it's expanded way too much.
I would say Joe Rogan is anti woke. He's the complete opposite direction, because because conspiracy theory is not what woke is. It's just simply awareness and knowing how these systems work, right? Who Joe Rogan's platform is people who say that vaccines cause autism. That's not woke. You're just being anti-science.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. They don't. Man, that's crazy, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. Hey, but Mar, I do appreciate you being up, and you have a good one, all right?
For sure, it was a good talk.
No problem. Hey, Papa, go ahead and come on up. I have someone named Papa in my comment section, just spamming a little bit. I'm gonna need you to stop the spamming, Papa, and go ahead and come on up and have the discussion. All right. So if you're watching me over from the Deconstruction Junction. Thank you so much for watching me there. You guys are amazing. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you are watching me over on the Bash channel, the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanist channel, once again, when I talk to people, right, I'm not looking at the comments, so I'm not going to be able to answer everybody. So call on in if you disagree with something that I had. And of course, if you're watching from my channel, Volsy Thoughts, once again, guys, I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to drop some super chats for me, please. Once again, my birthday is coming up on Monday. Birthday is coming up on Monday, y'all. And so I'm gonna be getting a little lit tonight. I'm gonna flash it on screen real quick. All right, so flash it on screen real quick. I'm gonna be getting a little lit tonight. All right, so I'm gonna be on here until about 8:30, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on. For the person in the chat, in my TikTok chat called Paul, go ahead and come on up because you've been talking about, black people being duped by Democrats. Nothing up here says anything about Democrats, so I'm not sure what you're getting that from. But go ahead and come on up, and then we can have that discussion. So let's see what we have here. Treat or Trent, I'm not able to read that. Trent, thank you so much for the 5 jewels. Once again, y'all, whole lot of ones beat a whole lot of nuns every single day of the week. Thank y'all so much, y'all. Thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate that. Not sure how the jewels work, but appreciate that for the jewels. All right. So like I said, if you're watching me from Deconstruction Junction, not sure who is speaking or if anyone disagrees or anything like that, but go ahead and come on up and we can definitely talk. The phone line is open. I do see someone called in. Let me go ahead and call them back real quick.
I'm sorry, you can't leave a message because the...
All right, cool. So I called that person back. They didn't pick up. Not a problem. All right, and we have producer Steve for hitting the 10 jewels. Yo, Steve, I've been meaning to text you, bro. I was supposed to text you just the other day. So, Steve, I was gonna text you just the other day, but like work got crazy because we gotta talk about season 3. And we gotta talk about what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? Because what I'm doing here, man, I want to expand it so much, but I need some help, and I think you guys can help me out. So we definitely gotta talk about season 3. I know we gotta talk about Nuance and Black as well. So shout out to producer Steve, y'all, for coming through with the 10 jewels. Thank you so much, producer Steve. Shout out to my boy producer Steve for the 10 jewels, and we're definitely gonna talk. All right, we're definitely gonna talk, bro. But all right, guys, we're just waiting for another person to go ahead and either come up in or call in. Thank y'all so much on Deconstruction Junction. All right, so Zach, you can call me an idiot all you want over on Deconstruction Junction. You can call me an idiot all you want, but I'm not even a Democrat. So that's number 1. But number 2, you can actually go ahead and call the number. You know what I mean? And tell me why you disagree with what I disagree with. When it comes to the Black community, when you say that Democratic policies ruined it, what ruined the Black community is redlining. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I'm always kind of like, you have to tell me which one specifically. You know what I mean? That you think ruined the Black community, and then we could talk about that more. So Zach, go ahead and call in if you would like. We would actually have a discussion. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I always say, y'all, because I openly tell people to call me if you have something to say, if you have a discussion, or if you have a certain point you want to give. Numbers right there. Numbers right there. We can talk about it. We can parse it out. And you can tell me why you think I'm going wrong or anything like that, and then we can parse that out. There are times where I've been incorrect and I've told people, oh yeah, I was wrong about that. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong about something. It's not a problem for me. All right. We had someone, I'm not sure if that person, what happened? Someone did request. All right. I'm accepting you again, Black Tree Games.
There it goes. Hey, what's up?
How's it going, Tree Games? Are you at least 18? And which number did you want to talk about?
I am 35, and I would like to argue on topic number 3.
Number 3, yeah, okay, cool. I think leftist policies are better for society. Would you like to know which ones we're talking about?
Sure. Which ones do you feel is which leftist policies do you feel is more beneficial? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say universal health care, universal child care, universal education, paid parental leave, living wage tied to your area, guaranteed housing as well, investment into infrastructure and renewable energies. I think all these will make our society great and make our society better and more livable.
And my question to you is: yes, a lot of these policies are found within democratic cities, but these concepts are being incorporated within America as a whole. The whole concept of socialism gaining more traction, which everything you name sounds more like a socialistic arguments and not so much Democratic or Republican. I'm going to hear you. I'm sorry, I do have to leave, but I'm going to follow you. Come back, but I got something going on. I'm sorry, bro. But yeah, I want to hear your argument to that. Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, I am a socialist. Yeah, I mean, so I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, these policies do sound socialistic, right? Whatever that means. But the thing is, though, from what we've seen, when these policies are incorporated within other countries, we see better health outcomes. We see less stress in those societies. We see happier people. So it seems the correlation is there, right? It seems the mechanism is there, and we have the mechanism to put these things in place. Right, we have a mechanism to put universal health care in place. All we have to do really is open up Medicare to everybody and move payroll taxes that go to paying premiums that employers use. We can use that to go over into the Medicare system. And then we have Medicare for all. And then we have 80% of your bills paid for, and the other 20% that needs to come out of pocket. You can get insurance for that. Yeah, I mean, that makes all premiums lower as well. So give me 1 second. All right, I think we have X coming up here. Yo, X, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And which number did you want to talk about?
Yes, I want to talk about number 1.
All right, cool. I think being woke is good. What do you think woke is?
I think woke is when somebody pushes a lot of new age stuff, new age science and lifestyle choices that we've seen in the past 10 or 20 years, which completely goes against human nature.
Why do you think that?
Because we've evolved over many years.
I'm sorry. I do apologize. Let me clarify my question. Why do you think that's what being woke is and not what black people said it is?
I didn't hear a black person say anything about being woke.
Have you ever heard the saying "stay woke"?
Yes, I have.
Where did that come from?
Probably hippies.
No, it came from the black community.
Okay, and what does the black community mean by that?
Being aware of racial and social injustice against black people. And over years, it's expanded outside of black people. But like my first guest says, said to restrict it to black people again, which I don't have beef with, but that's where it originally came from. That's a bad thing?
No, it's not a bad thing at all. And I actually recognize these injustices.
Okay, so you're woke.
I wouldn't say that.
But that's what it means. Because the way that it's being used now is something that was co-opted. And for the conservatives, it got co-opted just to be racist. And for liberals, it got co-opted just to be cool. So why are we using something that has no utility?
In the sense of the word you said, yes, I am. But in the sense of the word most people use it, no, I'm not woke.
Well, the thing is, when we say most people, who are we talking about?
Mostly white hippies.
Right. So the way they use it is for conspiracy theory, esoteric shit, right? But no one really cares about that. It doesn't really have any utility. Our utility is about being aware of racial and social injustice. That's a better utility for it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's why I'll call you woke. But if you're saying that the way white hippies use it is useless or sounds crazy, I'm not gonna have beef with you there, because yeah, it got co-opted. So I don't have a lot of beef with that. But the reason I think my entire pushback is based on, why are we taking what they're saying, who butchered it and don't really know what they're talking about, and not what we're saying? We should throw away their version, right? Would you agree?
Right, but there's also some black people version that absolutely I disagree with.
Okay, what is that version?
this is a lot of black people in the United States who basically are pretendians.
Oh yeah, that no, I just agree with that. Yeah, that's bullshit. Like the pretendian shit is the CIA psyop. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, it's bullshit. Most of the majority of people you see doing that are the bots, or you have someone like Dane Calloway who's a moron. Now there are African Americans that do have Native ancestry. Yeah, sure. A lot of them have like I think 5%. The most I've seen was around 25 because their ancestors were either adopted into a tribe or unfortunately were enslaved by one. So you do see that, right? There are African Americans that do have Native American ancestry. That's real. But saying that they're the original Native Americans it's kind of crazy. And Dane Calloway is an idiot. So yeah, I understand what you mean.
As far as Africans migrating to the Americas before Columbus time, I can see it happening to a small extent in the southern states like Florida, considering they have migrated to South America before Columbus time. I can see it to a small extent, but for a black person to claim they're indigenous, I'm highly doubt that. Me
too. Yeah, I doubt it. Not according to DNA. According to DNA, no. That we're largely African. If you're a black person on this side of the world, and if you're part of any of the ethnic groups on this side of the world, you know, Haitian, Jamaican, Bahamian, African American, Black Colombian, Black Brazilian, you came from Africans, bro. Now, a lot of us do have indigenous. A lot of us do have American indigenous. I don't. I check myself. I don't have any indigenous. I think my mom may, but it just didn't pass on to me for whatever reason. But yeah, so it's just one of those things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do understand. I do agree with you. I do think it's plausible that some Africans could have landed here, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of trace of that evidence. But I do think it's plausible because there are explorers who said that they saw a whirlpool out in the ocean and came back, and we have been able to verify that there's a whirlpool out there. So we know they did it, but did it ever come back or land here is not something that we know. But I don't want to monologue, but I do get where you're coming from, though. That type of shit, I think, is CIA psyop shit. So I agree with that part, right? The only thing I would be careful is that there are African Americans that do have Native in them. They do have some Native ancestry, at least 2 to 5%. The most I've seen personally was about 15 to 20. Personally, that's what I've seen. Make sense, X?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Did you want to talk about anything else?
And I can see how they may be indigenous to South America because that's so much closer to Africa than North America.
I agree. Now, when it comes to African Americans, a lot of them do have like, I think Blackfoot and Choctaw, because I think one of those tribes, either during the American slavery times, enslaved people used to either run to them, or unfortunately, you have the 5 civilized tribes who actually had enslaved people. I think Cherokee had it. And I think it was only a few years ago that the Cherokee did acknowledge that they had Black Cherokee. You know what I mean? So there's that too. So there is some there, but the people who say that the actual Native Americans were Black people, like, nah, that's nah, bro. Yeah, either had admixture or unfortunately your ancestors wasn't enslaved by one of them. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I mean, I would see that. DNA testing doesn't show that. But all right. So X, did you want to talk about anything else, or because I have another guest I want to go ahead and get on? If you want to talk about anything else,
no, go ahead. Thank you.
All right, not a problem, X. I appreciate you being up here. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and keep it going. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. For this next guest, I don't have a name here. I just have a black square, or I'm sorry, black circle. What do we call you?
You can call me Black Hole.
All right, Black. Are you at least 18? And which number did you want to talk about?
Yeah, we could talk about number 4.
All right, cool. Let's talk about number 4. Yeah, I don't think there's any good evidence for a God. What evidence would you say there is?
I think the best evidence is that it's just psychodynamic harmony, which is the idea that consciousness is mapped onto, or it's connected to physical systems, and it's connected to physical systems that actually exist, and the complexity that's required for consciousness to emerge is within the grasp of these physical systems.
Okay, yeah, I've heard this psychophysical harmony thing like multiple times, but I'm not sure why that would be evidence for a God and not simply a consequence of evolution.
And it wouldn't be a consequence of evolution because, well, the point is that, well, if let's just say you want to say evolution explains this, and you would say this explains this because it allows us to survive. Well, that already presupposes consciousness is connected to physical systems.
No, it doesn't, because evolution is a process. It's not something that's conscious. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, I'm saying that it already presupposes the process included consciousness already attached to physical systems.
No. It doesn't presuppose that. What it's saying is that this is simply a consequence of what happened. It's not saying that we're presupposing evolution is going to lead to this. We're just saying that evolution happened and this is the consequence of that. It's not saying that evolution is automatically going to lead to that. That's a presupposition, but we're not saying that. We're saying that this is what evolution did. That's it.
No. You just said evolution just didn't lead to that. That's what you're talking about.
Right. What I'm saying is that evolution led to this phenomenon, right? But we're not saying that evolution necessarily is going to lead to this phenomenon or anything like that. What we're saying is that evolution is a thing, and as a consequence of evolution, this is what happened, right? We're not saying that evolution will necessarily lead to this.
Well, then that's what I'm challenging. Why did evolution lead to this and not other ways?
Apparently, it helped us survive.
But see, that's presupposing the thing in question. Because I already told you that if you say
evolution is all about survival,
well, it helps us survive, that already presupposes consciousness is consciousness was selected for. It already presupposes consciousness was selected for.
No, it doesn't
dispute.
It doesn't presuppose consciousness was selected for.
If consciousness wasn't selected for, we wouldn't survive, right?
If consciousness wasn't selected for, no, we would still survive, because
humans would survive without consciousness.
We just wouldn't be human, or wouldn't be the organism that we are not right now.
No. I mean, then you're not answering the question.
I am answering
the
question.
The question is, would humans survive without consciousness?
Black. Humans have consciousness, right? What I'm saying is that we wouldn't be human at that point. We'll be something else.
So humans would not survive without consciousness.
There would be no humans, or not. I'm saying there will be no humans,
because we wouldn't survive without consciousness.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Because there are things that survive without consciousness, right?
That are not human. Yes.
Yeah, that are not human. That's what I'm saying. We probably wouldn't be human. We wouldn't
question.
be. Black. I need you to slow down and stop interrupting, bro.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that human evolution ended with us having consciousness. If we didn't have consciousness, I don't know what we would be. Would be some sort of another type of organism that doesn't have consciousness. That's all I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that apparently this phenomenon that we're talking about, it apparently helped us survive, but it doesn't presuppose that this was needed in order for us to exist.
No, you need to back up. There is a point in time humans did exist without consciousness. It's when you're in your mother's womb. That's what a fetus is, right? You did. The point is, throughout our evolutionary history, when you exit your mother's womb, is it the case that a human would survive if we didn't have consciousness, if we didn't develop consciousness?
I don't know.
It seems like the answer is no. We wouldn't survive. Because it seems that consciousness enabled us to be able to develop these things that allow us to survive further along the future, which is to be able to recognize the external world, be able to create these tools to allow us to survive better.
I got you. I could agree with that. Yeah, this phenomenon helped us survive.
Okay, but see, the point is that already presupposes evolution selected for consciousness, which is what's in dispute.
No,
because if it wasn't selected for, we wouldn't survive.
Yeah, it's saying that's the consequence of evolution. It's not presupposing that evolution selected. Well, hold on, it's not. I'm not really understanding what you're saying. You're saying that we're presupposing what? What are we presupposing here?
You're presupposing evolution selected for consciousness. Because the purpose of evolution, as we know, it's a process in which traits are selected such that the organism is able to survive better in its environment.
Okay.
Now you're saying humans being able to do this, or the consciousness being attributed to physical systems, is a byproduct of evolution. It's what led. Yeah. It's the ending part. But the problem is that means during the process, evolution selected for consciousness.
Yeah.
Because if it did not select for consciousness, we wouldn't be able to survive. We would not be able to survive without consciousness.
So it's a consequence of evolution. What presupposing are you saying?
What's in dispute is like what's in dispute is why is consciousness being selected for in the first place? You can't say because it allows us to survive, because that's already presupposing it was selected for.
It was. We're here.
I'm saying, I don't think you're understanding.
I'm not. I'm really not. Because I'm really not understanding this, because you're saying that we're here right now and we have consciousness. So obviously evolution selected for it.
Yes.
What do you think I'm presupposing here? I'm just deducing the conclusion that we're that we evolved. We evolved and we have consciousness. So evolution selected for it.
I'm asking why is consciousness initially being correlative to that of physical systems?
What?
Because before evolution selects for consciousness already exists. The trait entities, the entities having consciousness, that trait, it already exists, right?
Yeah.
There's the process of evolution
in previous organisms. Yeah.
Right. And then there is the process of evolution in which, and organisms go under these extinction periods or parasitism, whatever. And then evolution makes a choice. Either consciousness is selected for because it allows this organism to survive better, or it's removed entirely, or these organisms all die out. It looks like evolution, as we see, selected for consciousness.
Yeah,
but at least for us, initially,
at least for us,
before evolution selects for anything, right? Why is consciousness attributed to physical systems? Because it had to have existed first.
Wait, I'm still not understanding that. What do you mean by why is consciousness attributed to physical systems?
Okay, so we understand that consciousness is an emergent property. I mean, this assumes physicalism, but whatever. Consciousness is an emergent property of the brain, right?
Yeah.
So the brain is a physical system. I'm saying consciousness it's related to something physical. It's attributed to something physical, and it seems to be consistent with other animals. Yeah. Now the question is why? Why is it correlative to physical systems and not the other way that could be
evolution selected for it? Are you asking why did evolution select for that and not another way? It did select for another way. Plants exist. They're not conscious.
No. Look, when you say evolution selected for it, right? It already presupposes that consciousness is already connected to these physical systems. It's already connected to humans connected to the brains of humans or the brains of other non-human animals. I'm asking,
you're saying that why do we have
connected to this?
Hold on, Black. So let me understand that. You're asking why do we have consciousness and this physical phenomena, but no consciousness, but still have the physical phenomena?
No. I'm asking why is consciousness attributed to our brain? Initially, because before
consciousness attributed to our brain, what does that mean?
Yes. Why is consciousness attributed to our brain?
What does that mean?
That's what I'm. Why does consciousness emerge from our brain? Why does it emerge from this particular physical system? Yes.
I don't know. You got to talk to a biologist, bro. I have no clue.
So, Rory, this is what's in dispute. In fact, biologists can't really answer this question. Biologists aren't. It's neurobiologists.
But yeah, whatever it is. But I don't think I'm understanding your question. You're saying that why did consciousness physically emerge from our brain?
Yes.
I don't think anyone knows that.
Well, so then there's the question of, well, is it the case that naturalistic processes would be able to account for this, or is it the case that God would be? Okay, so I agree. Possibly naturalism can account for this. Naturalistic processes can account for this. But I'm also saying I'm bringing God to the table because I think the God hypothesis is more probable. And
but you have to show, you have to really establish that a supernatural God would even exist first. We know physical processes exist. We don't know your God does.
Well, that's fine. The point is to do a comparative analysis of the two hypotheses.
Right, but your hypothesis doesn't carry any evidence. You're simply pointing to a phenomena, a physical phenomena, and saying, well, we don't have all the physical data yet. Therefore, let's go ahead and put this supernatural thing in there. Why would we do that?
No. What physical data do we not have?
You just said it. Why does consciousness emerge from the brain? We don't know yet. Right? We don't, but it could be a physical process, and neurobiology is still figuring it out. But you're saying that because we don't have that answer, I'm positing this supernatural thing that has no evidence.
No. The point is that you would be positing the hypothesis to see which would predict the phenomena better. It's not to say that. It's not to say that God definitively.
What I'm saying is that a God wouldn't, because the thing is that's basically a glorified God of the gaps. because you can do that for
God of the
anything.
gaps.
It really is. We have a gap in this knowledge of why this phenomenon happens, and you're putting in God there. That's a glorified God of the gaps.
No, that's not God of the gaps, because there are neurobiologists that have studied the brain. I can grant physicalism. I can say that the consciousness is entirely emergent from the brain, or it's contained with the brain, whatever, whatnot. And everything we know about the brain leads to us in every single information about consciousness. Fine. But the point is that there's a secondary question, is like, well, consciousness is a trait that existed initially before evolution selected for it. Okay. And we know that it's entirely, we know we can get every information about consciousness through the brain. Great. But the question is, okay, there's two hypotheses here. There's the naturalistic one, and then there's the theistic hypothesis, which would predict that we would have entities that would have consciousness.
Both, either of them can explain it, right? But what I'm saying is that your hypothesis literally has no evidence. We have no evidence of supernatural. But the second thing that I would say is that you said that that consciousness was a trait before evolution selected for it. I think that's a mistake. Consciousness can become a trait. Like, consciousness evolved. It's not something that evolution selected for, but like, oh, okay, consciousness and no consciousness. Here's the choices. Because remember, evolution is a process. And if consciousness is emergent, that means that consciousness also evolved. It wasn't something that that evolution says, okay, this is a new population of organisms. Boom, consciousness. That's not how that happens.
To say consciousness evolved would mean that there's a primitive state of consciousness that exists, which would confirm what I said, which is that there would have been an initial state of consciousness that evolution would have to evolution would have to select for.
No, not
it can't
necessarily,
be a process
because
of selection.
Yeah,
how can you have a process of selection but you have no option?
Because brains
what
get more. Because brains get more. Because remember, remember what evolution is, right? Environmental pressures acting on organisms, right? So if there's environmental pressures to act on organisms, and your environmental pressures are pushing you more towards complex type of thinking, then in that way, consciousness will evolve, since the pressure of your environment is pushing towards more complex thinking.
I understand that you would have complex forms of thinking, but I'm saying there would be a primitive, a very rudimentary existence of consciousness that would first come about. In which, in this case,
and that rudimentary version could also be process. But that rudimentary version could have also evolved from other prior organisms. Like, evolution has happened over 4 billion years. That's a lot of time for thinking to become more complex, right?
I understand that, but I'm saying that there's just a point in which consciousness would exist from non-existence, right? There's plenty. Yes, I agree with you that consciousness is something that evolved from organisms that existed prior that didn't have consciousness. But I'm saying the moment the evolution process decided that this entity will be complex enough to bring about this trait called consciousness, then the process then continues to say, well, is this trait consciousness something that's useful for the future organisms? And I'm saying it would have to be true first. This trait exists, because if the trait didn't exist, evolution can't select for it, because evolution needs options.
Right, evolution needs
objects.
Right, evolution needs options, right? But even if we go all the way back to the beginning, to the single cell organism, that's not anything conscious that we would say. But we've gotten from that single cell organisms 4 billion years now until the complex consciousness we have now. So that means for 100 million years, or even close to a billion years, this consciousness that we're talking about was probably non-existent. They were all just things reacting to their environment. You know what I mean? Environmental pressures then made it more complex. You see what I'm saying? So, like, because those things, whatever happened within that 100 million to 200 million years, for those single cell or multicellular organisms to react more complexly, that was just a reaction to the environment. I don't think that necessarily a rudimentary consciousness exists before evolution selects for it. I don't see that being the case, or why it would be.
It would have to be true, because it would have to be an option for evolution to select something. It has to be an existent option. It can't select from something that does not exist. That's
right,
impossible.
I agree that it can't select for something that
so
does
the option has to initially exist.
Hold on. Yes, we understand that it has to. The option has to exist. But our complex form of consciousness, even the rudimentary form of consciousness, doesn't have to exist. All has to exist is something that helps it survive. All that has to exist.
The organism can survive without wait, what? The organism,
Yeah, like plants.
But we're not talking about plants.
We're talking about mammals, right? Animals.
I'm talking about animals that are complex enough to have consciousness.
Correct.
Or even just organisms that were complex enough to at least instantiate a rudimentary form of consciousness.
Yes, and where did that rudimentary form come from? Yeah, I mean that rudimentary form came from prior pressures, right? That's what I'm saying. Like it is right? Not just and it came from prior pressures, and those prior pressures, like it resulted in the rudimentary consciousness, and the rudimentary consciousness I'm gonna say pressures on that then became our complex things. Like it's something that just results in it, bro. I'm not seeing why it would. Give me 1 second,
Larry,
hold on real quick. All right, so Black, I'm out of time. We're at the 15-minute mark, but I appreciate you. All right, come back later.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Hey, Kay, I do see you in the request box. I'll bring you up in a moment. Hitch, go ahead and come on up, and I'll talk to you right after I talk to Larry. All right, Larry, how's it going? Are you at least 18, and which number did you want to talk about?
Yes, I'm at least 18, and I kind of wanted to piggyback a little bit off the last conversation, just about God and the existence of, well, everything. I guess my argument for there being a creator is that the most modern consensus of science is that the universe started at a particular beginning, and that God is that first cause.
That's not what scientists say. Now, the scientists do say that our universe expanded from the hot dense state, right? But they don't say anything about God.
Well, no, but that there was a beginning to the universe, right? That it started from a hot dense state, that it wasn't in eternal past, that there was some kind of beginning. And the thing is, it cannot have created itself, because nothing can create itself. And then it couldn't have come from nothing.
Wait, you're saying right? Yeah, we understand that nothing, like it couldn't come from nothing. That's fine. But when it comes to the hot dense state, do you think that came from something else, or that it may have always existed?
I don't think it all existed. It actually had to have been created from something outside of it.
Okay, so great. Why? Why do you think that?
Because it couldn't have existed forever, because you have the problem of infinite regression and an infinite past. You wouldn't get to the present.
Yeah, you can.
You have an infinite past.
Yeah, you can.
How?
What's before negative? What's before the number 0?
You have negative numbers.
Yeah. What's the start of negative numbers?
For negative numbers, what's the start?
Yeah.
Well, if you're counting from 0 going back, then it would be 0.
0, and then it's -1, then -2, then -3, -4, right? So what's the start of negative? What's the start of negative numbers? What's the start?
Well, if you're counting from 0, it'd be 0 to -1, to -1, and then you have -1 to -2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but what's the start? There's my point is, I'm trying to explain is that there is no start of negative numbers. There's no start. You see what I'm saying? So like that, it's the same thing when it comes to this entire concept of infinity. There is no start. And I understand that sounds incoherent because we're human beings. Human beings, we think linearly. We think beginning, middle, end. That's how we think, because that's how we exist. But that doesn't mean that physical reality works the same way.
Right. No, for sure. But I'm saying that you would never, if you're counting down from negative infinity, you would never be able to count to 0. You would never get to 0. You would. It's an impossibility. If I'm asking you to count from -100 to 0, you'd go, okay, -100, -99, -98. But I'll go, wait a minute. Now start at -101. I go -101, -100, -99, -98. And I go, wait, no, -102. So the thing is, the problem here is that if you have an infinite amount of negative numbers, you would never be able to get to 0.
But we still get to
you would never be able to get to the present, which is times 0. Tomorrow would be +1. Yesterday was -1. So you would never be able to.
But Larry, we still got to 0, didn't we? 0 is still a thing.
Present.
Right, but Larry, we still got to 0. 0 is still a thing. Even though there is negative infinity, we still get to 0. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's it's like what I'm saying is that this shows that what the nature or the concept of infinity is. You can still get to the start. You can still get to 0. You can still get to the present, even though there's a negative pass.
Yeah, but if you have infinite negatives, you would never get to 0. You would never get to, because there just keeps.
So
keeps
how
going.
do we have 0?
Well, in mathematics, you can have numbers that represent things. But I'm saying, as far as events, an infinite negative number of events, you would never get to the present event.
Why
you
not?
Just wouldn't get to that event because it's mathematically impossible. You have negative past infinity, so you would never get to 0. You can never count down to 0.
But we still got to 0. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
We still got to 0,
so
but
there had to been a starting point.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I understand. Of course I understand, because that's how we think. We think that things have to have a start, but it could be possible that there is no start. Time could be completely eternal. Space could be eternal. There could be no start.
Well, in physics, right? You know what a self-propelling motion device is?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So, but you want to apply that principle to space, time, and matter, and that just does not make sense. Time and space and matter is not a self-propelling motion device.
How do we know?
It can't just keep going on forever without entropy.
Right, but how do we know that?
There would have been enough. Well, because there would have been enough time for all the stars to have died out, for all the black holes to dissolve, for that been the heat death of the universe. Everything would have already died out a long time ago, yet here things are. So
not necessarily.
Everything would have already reached everything would have already reached entropy if you had negative infinite past. There would have been plenty of time for things to have already burnt out and for entropy to have occurred, but yet here everything still exists and here everything is.
Right. Because
so
our this is our current presentation of the universe. I do get that, right? And I get that our current presentation of the universe is started at the hot dense state. My thing is that hot dense state, we actually have no idea what it is, because our concept of time and space break down at that point. However, it is something, right? But you're saying that hot dense state came out of something else or was started by something else. There's no way to know that.
Well, I'm saying it couldn't have come from itself, and it couldn't have come from something of physical matter, of time, space, and matter. It has to have come from something outside of time, space, and matter, something that is timeless, something that is spaceless and immaterial.
How does a timeless, spaceless thing do anything? Because to do something, it takes time.
Well, in our concept of time, but I'm saying
so there could be another concept of time and space, like I said before.
It could be something that we don't know, but it can't be of time, space, and matter. It can't be of the material.
It can't be of time, space, and matter, or the time, space, and matter that we understand, right?
Well, as we understand of matter, yeah. I mean,
exactly.
Universe, it can't be of it.
You're right. I got you. That's exactly what I said before, though. Like a time, space, and matter that we just don't understand yet. Another form of physics that we just can't explain yet, that we don't understand yet. But that doesn't mean that it has to necessarily be some sort of God. It could be a completely physical reality, or a fundamental force or reality that we just can't explain yet. Why not that?
No, it's definitely some other type of reality, but it can't be of. You said the word physics. I mean, this is the thing. It can't even be of a type of physics, because you're talking about physics in terms of time, space, and matter as we know it. It's something completely outside of that. It has to be something outside of it itself.
But that's what I'm saying, that Larry.
It can't be another multiverse or another universe.
But Larry,
then you have the problem still of infinite regression.
No, I got you. But Larry, what I was saying, what I was saying is, Larry, what I said was physics that we don't understand yet. There could be another type of physics. Why not?
Okay, but what do you mean by other types of physics? Because you're basically just
no, exactly. Okay, so remember what I asked you before, right? doing things takes time and space. So how does a timeless spaces thing do anything? And you said that in our understanding of time and space, that may not be the case. So even you tacitly admit that there could be other forms of time, space, and matter. So that's other type of physics that we don't understand yet.
Well, I'm saying it can't be something of the natural. It has to be something that's supra or supernatural. It can't be of the natural, because
why can't it be something natural, but it's supernatural to us? Like according to an ant, we're supernatural, right? But that doesn't mean that we're supernatural.
Well, no, because we're still in the same,
plane of existence,
dimension.
right? I'm just trying to give you the analogy, and we're still in the same plane of existence. I agree with that, but they can't conceive of us, right? Because we're too complex to them. So it could be the same thing for whatever is before or what the hot dense state is. If we're for the sake of argument, positing what you're saying, the hot dense state came from something else. It could be something that we just can't conceive yet, right? It's still physical, still natural. We just can't conceive of it.
Well, my argument is it can't be of the physical or natural, because the physical and natural can't create itself. You're talking about basically almost as if it were in a different type of state or whatever. I'm talking it can't even be in a state. It can't be even in a different type of physical state or whatever. Because
so how does it do anything?
It had to have come from something outside of our known understanding of time, space, and matter itself.
Okay, so exactly what I said before, something that we just can't conceive yet. You're kind of agreeing with what I'm saying. You're just not. You just want to shoe in the fact that it had to be some sort of God. I'm saying it doesn't necessarily have to be. It'd be something physical and fundamental. We just can't understand or conceive of it yet.
But when you say something physical, like what exactly are you saying though? Because you're kind of just saying it's of physical matter, and I'm saying it can't be of that. It can't even be of what. It can't be of itself. You know what I mean? Like
it can't be of our physical matter. Sure, it can't be of our physical matter.
Okay, so then what other explanation would you?
I would say I would say a natural physical fundamental force that we cannot conceive yet.
And how would that create or be a first cause? You get what I'm saying? So what I basically said in the very beginning is there has to be. You can't have infinite. You can't have a self-propelling motion device of any kind, right? That just goes against laws of thermodynamics. So what is the first cause, the first push for things to be set in motion?
A fundamental force, an impersonal fundamental force.
Okay, that came out of.
It just exists. It just is. No, it just is. It just exists. It's a brute fact. It's a fundamental force. Basically, it's a brute fact.
I agree. I totally agree. I think there is something that is necessary. There has to be a necessary thing out there.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what I would say,
something has to get back to a necessary point.
Gotcha. So what I would say is that it doesn't necessarily need to be something that's personal. You're gonna be completely impersonal. That's what I would say. It doesn't have to be a personal thing.
Why would it have to be an impersonal thing?
When I'm saying it has to be an impersonal thing, I'm just saying it doesn't have to be personal. It could be impersonal. Like these are the two options that we have. Or we can have multiple options, but these are the two that we think of, right? That me and you have thought of. There's a personal one. There's an impersonal one. Either of them can fit this description of what we're talking about. Now we have to go ahead and see if we can find evidence of those two things, but there's no way to do that. At least in my expertise or in your expertise, there's no way we can parse that out. So what would we do now? At that point, we're at I don't know. So what would we do now?
Okay, I was, in my head, it was a choice that it was actually made because it can't be of any natural just catalyst for it to have come in existence. It had to have actually been an agency, something with agency to actually cause that first push.
I got you.
Because
I got you, but why though? Because we see things in our natural reality that don't make choices and still cause things, right? Like rain. It's raining outside my window right now, but rain is a consequence of chemistry and physics. Basically, that's what rain is. It didn't make any choices.
Yes, but it's borrowing causal effect. So the thing is, you're sitting on your chair right now, which is borrowing causal effect from the legs, which borrow causal effect from the ground, which borrow causal effect from the earth that's spinning, and then borrowing that from gravity and borrowing. So it's always borrowing from some type of cause, right? There's some kind of causal thing. What was the necessary first cause? You can't have an infinite regression. We just talked about that. You can't have an infinite regression. You have to have a first push.
But you see that's the part that I disagree with. We can have something that has a no start because we displayed that with negative infinity. There is no start to negative numbers. You know what I mean? So we can have a negative regress, but skipping over that, what I'm saying is that when it comes to this first cause, if you're saying that what would cause an impersonal thing to push the universe, I don't know. But I would ask the same thing for a personal being. Why would it cause the universe, and how did it not use time?
Well, it did eventually use time at a certain point. Obviously, that's when time started.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that so it's time started when it created, but the action of creating something takes time. Like there's a before and an after. It seems like temporal.
The thing is, time started at the Big Bang, so to speak, because the thing is, that's why they call it space-time. They actually put the two words together because time is a measurement of space.
Yeah.
So so it's almost like a ruler of space. So the thing is, you can't sparse it in half. You have to actually use them together.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm saying it. And so at the very beginning of the universe was the beginning of time.
Space-time.
Of space-time. So that's why I have a problem with there being a negative infinity of time, because you don't have a negative infinity of space if everything was an infinitesimal point. So you don't have space-time there. You have to have a certain point.
I got you. So let me clarify. What I'm trying to say is that when it comes to the hot density and expansion of space-time, that space-time as we understand it, right, or the space-time that our physical reality uses. But as we said before, there could be other forms of space-times that we can't conceive, and we can only speculate, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. If we can say that,
I agree. I agree to that point.
Okay, cool.
But it can't be of this physical reality.
It can't be of this physical reality. Okay, if we could agree with that, it can't be of this physical reality. It has to be some sort of.
It can't be. It has to be outside of it.
Outside of this physical reality. Cool. All right. So if it's outside of physical reality, but then it caused this this reality, the only question is, was it a personal thing, agent that made a choice, or was it a fundamental force? Neither of us can show which one is which way yet. So at this point, I don't know. I don't know which one it was, but I don't see a reason to believe that it was an agent. Like, because at that point, we're just speculating.
Well, it's because of the link between the two. Because the thing is, if you have something that is not of the physical, not of this, but then it did occur, right? What is the connector? What is the exact connecting fabric, or I don't know how to explain it exactly, between that reality and this? And I would say it had to have been an actual choice of some kind by some kind of agent outside to have it had to be the first push and cause, because it can't be of itself. It has to be something out. It has to be something outside. Well, what would cause that thing outside to cause the beginning of the universe?
Right.
Where is that connective tissue there?
I get that.
It has to be some kind of intervention, dude.
Right. No, I get that. Right, I get that, and what I'm saying is that yeah, sure, you're saying that it's something that made a choice. What I'm saying is that it could have just been some sort of natural consequence, like how I explained with the rain. You know, rain happens because of natural consequences. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to the universe, I don't see how that excludes that. Yeah, you see what I mean? Hey, but Larry, we are just about out of time. But you want to go ahead and call another time? I do appreciate you.
Yeah, sounds good, brother.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Yeah, we just got to out of time. All right, y'all. All right. I do appreciate y'all for being here. Let me put the whole music right back on. All right, y'all. I didn't bring up heaven. That's a good one. I didn't bring up heaven. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second, because like I said, it is gonna be my birthday weekend and we about to get lit. Give me 1 second. Hey, babe. Babes. Bring me half of the edible. Yeah, bring me a piece. Yes, come give me a piece. All right, guys. Hey, sorry about that, Kay. I'll bring Kay up now. Like I said, y'all, this is gonna be my birthday weekend this weekend. So we's getting lit, y'alls. Thanks, babes. We's about to get lit up in here. Hey, what's going on, Kay? Yeah. I should have got some pre-rolls. That's something I still need to learn how to do. I still need to learn how to roll. I never learned how to roll, so I should have gotten some pre-rolls.
I'm like, and listening to these impossible Christian things, you know.
Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day and it's been a week. You know what I mean?
Mind you, funny enough, one of the dudes that I like on here, turned out to be a Muslim man, and he's actually a really cool dude. I'm like, oh wow, I did not know that. He's actually really cool.
Cool. Yeah, sometimes they can be cool, right? Christians and Muslims can be cool, but you just gotta talk to them outside of religion. Once you talk to them outside of religion, but yeah, you folks is cool as hell.
No, I'm like, we be talking about black shit. We don't even be talking about religion.
Hey, listen, one thing I be giving the Muslims though, black Muslims though, they be 10 toes down for black people. I give them that. I give them that.
No, he is. He's one of my mutuals. Because he be defending black women and stuff, which is why I appreciated him.
Yeah, that's one and that's something that we see from Muslims. All right, so we got Sai. Is that your name? Sin. Sorry about that. All right, Sin, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And which number did you want to talk about?
Yeah, number 1.
I'm talking about number 1. All right, cool. Yeah, I think being woke is good. Let's first talk about what you think woke is. What do you think woke is?
Well, from the examples that I've seen, it's lying to people.
Cool.
Essentially.
Cool. Where did you get that from?
I would say seeing people say, "Oh, you can change your gender."
Cool.
Stuff like that.
All right, cool. So, when it comes to being woke, where did it come from? Where did the term "stay woke" come from? Who made that term, and what was it used for?
Not sure. Enlighten me.
Okay, cool. So you don't know where it originally came from, but you think it has something to do with being transgender. Why? What connected those two things?
No, I don't think being woke means you're transgender. I'm saying that
it has something to do with it.
Yeah, like a bunch of ideologies can fall under.
Cool. I got you, son. My question is, if you didn't know where it originally came from, why would you think being woke has anything to do with being transgender or any type of other ideology? Why would you think that?
Well,
actually, I'm sorry.
Where it came from and what it is now.
I'm sorry.
Two different things.
Let me clarify. When I say why do you think that? What I'm asking you is, who told you that, or where'd you get the information from that being transgender or the entire I would say social issue around transgender has something to do with being woke? Who informed you of that?
Well, I wouldn't say a specific person informed me that being woke is this thing, but you could see the same thing with feminism. It's very different now than it is what it was originally created for. So
it really hasn't, though.
Yeah, it's still
Oh,
about
it is.
women's. No, it's still about women's rights. It hasn't. All
No,
right,
it's
so
not.
it is. So Sin, let's go ahead and actually clarify this then. Okay,
It is.
being woke
It's
came
not.
from the African. Okay, everybody stop, please.
It is.
Being woke came from the African American community, and it was all about being aware of racial and social injustice against the African American community. Now you can say, right, and I would even agree with that yeah, it's expanded to outside the African American community. Now, if you want to argue that it should be restricted back, which is what a lot of black people have been saying, I would agree with that. I'll have no beef with that. If you were to say that, hey, listen, being woke has expanded to include too many things, let's bring it back to what African Americans said, being aware of racial and social injustice against black people in America. We should bring it back to that. And if you want to expand it to black people globally, fine, but bring it back to that original definition. I would have no beef if you said that. But the moment you said that being woke, the moment that you use woke as a pejorative, which is kind of what you're doing, now I have an issue.
Definitely concede to that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I understand your point here. Yeah. What I wouldn't say is oh no, racism is still a thing, but obviously black people aren't still oppressed. Wait, so what would be the point of the movement?
What movement?
Just racism in general?
Which movement?
The woke movement of racial injustice.
That's the thing. Who told you there was a movement? This is what I be
Is
stuck
woke
on.
not
right?
a movement?
No, this is what I be stuck on, right? Because like
Okay.
at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say that you got your information from one single source, but where all this is coming from is from white conservatives who heard it from white liberal college students and then decided to be racist. That's literally what stay woke as a pejorative. What white conservatives are using woke as a pejorative for is literally just to be racist. Because think about it. Think about that Star Wars series, The Acolyte. It was just a Star Wars series, but because the main character was black, what did they all say? It was woke, right?
Personally, I didn't see it, but yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So their only motivation to do this is to be racist. Why are we following that utility? Why would we use woke as a pejorative in order and the way that conservatives use it? Because we know that they're using it to be racist. That's what they're using it for. So why we use their prescription? That's my entire thing with it.
Oh wait, so they're using woke essentially as a slur?
Yeah.
Yes, they have been. Where have you been?
It's basically a silent N-word.
Along with DEI.
Along with
Don't
DEI.
forget that they like to use.
Like to use DEI as a silent N-word. Because think about it. Remember when Baltimore had an issue, right, with the bridge? How a ship hit a bridge in Baltimore and the bridge collapsed. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, people were calling him the DEI mayor. The mayor of Baltimore is black. So it's a silent N-word, isn't it?
Was his policy aligned with DEI?
What?
Were the policies he was trying to push, that mayor, were they associated with DEI? Because that would be right. Even if they,
what does that mean?
What does
that mean, Sin? What does that mean? Was his policies associated with DEI? What do you think DEI is?
It's basically adding race into the hiring process. Race.
Who told you that?
I would say race, age, all this that you don't need on a application.
Sin, hold on, Sin. Who told you that?
I would say the fact that it
okay. Now who told you that? I'm sorry, Sin. Now who told you that? Where does that come from? Where does the information come from?
Who majorly benefits is
white women.
Yeah.
So how is it making race a part of the hiring process? Is the people who benefited from the most are white women?
Well, because the white
because as you're sitting here as you're sitting here talking about feminism not being about women's rights, white women benefit from it because they're women, and women are a marginalized group.
By marginalized, meaning
politically and economically marginalized. Right? Women are politically, economically marginalized. But when it
How
comes
so?
to look at our at our government, how many the majority of our senators and our governors are what?
Male.
Yeah. So they're a marginalized.
So
they're a marginalized group. Marginalized means without power. Women don't have the power in our society.
Right, because that doesn't typically it doesn't typically align with women. There are certain professions where women like gravitate towards, and then there's certain professions that men gravitate towards.
Correct. No, you're right. You're right, Sin. You're right, Sin. Why?
That exactly. That's the part.
Well, because men and women are different. Like they're inherently different.
Yes, men and women are inherently different. We get that. The question is still, when it comes to job selection, why do men or males gravitate towards one profession, or women or females gravitate to another profession? It's not simply because it's not simply because of chromosomes.
No. It's well, I would say kind of chromosomes have a part in it, but it's more of like the hormonal differences that, like, I would say
hormonal differences. You think women are plumbers because of hormones?
Testosterone and estrogen have different effects on the brain.
Do we all have testosterone and estrogen?
But I'm like, now what he's saying is men and women have different levels, which is a fact. But here is the thing. Because it's funny because he's mentioning hormones being something that he's changed, but the first thing he came up here talking about regarding woke, quote quote, is the first thing he brought up was the trans issue. Meanwhile, you can change your hormonal profile to that of the opposite sex.
But that's not changing your gender
estrogen profile.
Yeah, but that's not changing your gender.
You understand gender and sex are different, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, like,
we're talking about SMEX. We're talking about the fact that it alters your SMEX characteristics. That is something that changes your body fundamentally.
Yeah, but
which is why it should be. Which is why it should be gay. Which is why it should be gay kept.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But Sin, we understand that it doesn't change your sex. No one's saying to change their sex. Understand that, right? But gender is not something that's really essentially tied to sex.
Yeah, they don't mean the same thing. Gender is only a classification of a certain type.
Okay, cool. So you shouldn't have any issue with transgender people, right?
No, because you cannot change your gender.
What?
Okay, let me explain. So what I mean by saying gender is like a certain classification of a sex is that, like, a woman would be an adult female. Right, you wouldn't call a 7-year-old girl a woman, right?
Right.
But I'm like,
so it's a classification after a certain age or a stage of development. That's how we've always used it.
Okay, okay, Siren. Okay. Oh, Volsi, I just realized something. I don't think I'm modded on this. Oh no, okay. Hold on.
You should be modded.
I just figured. No, I don't mind me.
Okay, cool.
Mistake. But as I was saying, it's funny to me that you're saying all of this, because at the end of the day, you brought it up in the conversation about woke. Meanwhile, as you just come to know, it has nothing to do with that.
Well, you tied it back to it. You said, wait, since you said when you first came in here, and I'm just responding to your questions.
Well, no, hold on, because you initially brought it up.
Yeah.
Right. You did that. And you brought it up. And I'm like in the conversation around being woke. And just as we established that came from the white supremacist conservative party, the talking point that you also are talking about regarding that issue also come from them. So it's interesting. And I brought it back to that because the reason that you came up here to discuss number one is because of the woke being used as a pejorative and you getting that information from right-wing media. That's why I brought it back to that. Because it goes full circle.
Yeah, no. These are two separate things, right? Like I was basically just taught by the host that woke didn't have anything to do with
it didn't.
the trend. Sorry,
but it didn't.
Yeah,
but
it
the
didn't,
point of the matter is that the reason that you think it did, in particular, was because of the reason that you did think it did in particular, Siren, was because of right-wing propaganda.
Probably so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm not really disputing that. What I'm saying is like I have seen it in those types of communities. You could say the whole LGBTQ as a whole. They also pull. Is somebody's thing?
Go ahead.
Somebody's echoing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, what I was saying is that you typically do see it from like the LGBTQ community. You see it from their side, and I just pointed out that usually the people who claim woke come from different like communities, not just like the black community.
They're not claiming it. It's funny because I haven't seen them claim it. I see right-wing conservatives use it as a pejorative to be bigots. And they just so happen to use it towards anything that they deem progressive. So it would be like LGBT, it would be issues regarding women's rights or AB. Like, so they use woke as a pejorative. They took something that was rooted in addressing issues of racial injustice and anti-blackness. Hold on. Racial issues, and they took it and used it as a pejorative to be bigot.
That's actually where woke is now. But let's try to clarify some things. You said being a woman is an adult human female, right?
Yes.
And how do you describe female?
I would say mix of things. Like let's say chromosomes, gonads, reproductive organs, hormones, developmental anatomy. Like it's kind of what your body is.
Okay, cool. Basically what your body is and does. You know what an issue with that is that you reduce being a woman to what their body does. Being a woman is more than what your body does.
Also, you can change your body.
No.
I do not get what he's talking about.
No, sex is what your body does.
What your body does.
Right?
Gender is something completely different.
But here's the thing. The fact of the matter is you can change your endocrine system. You can literally change the hormones, the hormone direction of your body, which literally changes things like your gene expression and all of those different things, your sex characteristics.
Well, your characteristics, right, but not your actual sex. Like you can medically change a lot, but you'll never actually be that thing.
Because the characteristics you're talking about are a part of that.
Well, yeah, it's a mix of a lot of things.
Your sex is your biological sex characteristics, such as like the thing that you mentioned, chromosomes, hormones, anatomy, reproductive organs, etc. It is multiple things.
Yeah,
but the things that you are talking about outside of chromosomes can be altered.
Yeah, they can be altered, but like what I'm saying is you can't change what your body is made to produce, right? Like the female body is made to produce ova,
because you can remove your gonads. Your gonads can be removed, and therefore your body will no longer produce that.
Your anatomy is built around producing this thing, right?
Hold on, no, because you cannot actually. Because you cannot say that, because if someone, like for these individuals who have SRS surgery in particular, their body is no longer produces that thing. So you cannot say that their body is still built around producing something that no longer literally exists.
No, their development is it's framed around that, right? So like,
no, you cannot claim that.
Can a female produce sperm?
Come on, can I pause real quick?
Claim that.
Hold on, everybody pause.
Because the body has been altered.
Okay, can we get everybody pause real quick? Here's the issue that I'm having with your arguments, and you're saying that your body is built around producing that. At the end of the day, there are people who do not produce that. So according to your definition or your prescriptions, that would exclude them from being women or even being men, because there are men who do not produce sperm. So if we're going to be if we're going to be reducing women, man or woman, to adult human male or adult human female, and then female you're saying is what your body does, and male is what your body does, but people's bodies don't do certain things, then that would exclude them from the definition of male, and that would exclude them from the definition of the gender of man or the
yes,
gender
if I did say does, but
right,
I didn't say does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't matter if you say does, because
yes,
y'all like to do this semantic thing where y'all go to, oh well, built around. You can't. I mean, it cannot be built around something that that does not exist or no longer.
Your anatomy is either meant to produce sperm or meant to. It's the meant to, not that you are.
That's not
meant to produce sperm or meant to produce.
Because again, we just established that you can alter your anatomy. So if you alter the anatomy with surgery, it no longer produces that, and it's no longer built around that. So you cannot claim that.
You're right. It's no longer.
Let me understand something.
So you made the argument that.
Yeah. So let me understand something, Sin. When you say your body is meant to do something, right? When you say I'm meant to do, like me being born as a male and being congruent with my sex, so I'm a cisgender male. You're saying that my body is meant to produce sperm, right?
No, your body is built, right?
It's
like
built to
everything.
Gotcha. My body's built.
Your organs.
I got you. Sin, I got you. Wait, hold on, I got you. So
okay.
My body is built to produce sperm. What about for a man whose body doesn't do that? That means his body isn't built to produce sperm. Is he still a man?
It's still meant to. Just because.
No, it's not, because it doesn't do it. So it's not meant to.
If it doesn't do it.
No. Okay. That's
because all our bodies are different, right?
That's like saying an
matter of fact,
infant, right?
let me point something else out.
I'm like, no, cool. Your logic is because you're born an infant. I'm like that you grow into an adult. That no, you can't. No, you're always an infant because you were born one. That's your logic.
Can I say my whole piece?
I got you. But Sin, let me just point something out to you, right? Mm-hmm. You see me, right? You see my color. I'm a black person.
Yes.
All right. So that means when I have a child with my wife, I'm meant to have another black child, right? They're gonna look like me, right?
I wouldn't say that specifically.
Well, not specifically look like me. It could look like my wife, or it could look like my sister, etc., etc.
He's talking about phenotype.
I'm talking about my phenotype. It's gonna come out like me, right? It's meant to come out like me, right?
Defend like me.
My phenotype.
Like you mean your body color or your skin color?
Yeah.
Okay. That has way too many variables, like location, the race of the other.
My wife is
the
black
color
too.
of the skin of the other.
My wife is black too. Okay, Sin.
Both of them are black.
We're both black, Sin. So when we have a child, our baby's gonna be black, right?
There's a high chance. There could be a genetic malfunction. You know what I mean?
Right. There's a genetic thing that goes into that. What is that genetic thing that could happen?
A mutation.
Albinism, right?
Yeah.
So
but even the black albino people are still black, so that still doesn't
right. No, black albino people are still black, but I'm trying to elucidate what he's saying about this whole meant to thing, because hold on, son. If me and my wife are phenotypically black, then that means that we're, according to your prescription, meant to have a black child, but that child turns out albino. Then their body didn't do what was. Hold on. Then that means that their body didn't do what was meant to happen. But they're still black, aren't they? You see what I'm saying? So that that's what I mean. This entire thing of that's what your body is meant to do or is built around that. My body and my wife's body is built around producing another black child. But sometimes
you agree it's still black.
Hold on, Sin. Sometimes that doesn't happen because they don't have the skin color. They don't have it. They're albino. So that means that their body wasn't meant to have my skin color. Their body was meant to have their own skin color.
Also, I am a lighter skinned Black person. You can't tell because of my profile picture. But I'm the only thing is my mama was lighter in complexion and my daddy was darker. I'm like, by your logic,
did the race change? For the albino child, did the race change?
I'm not albino, no, just light skin.
No, I'm asking the host.
Oh, like in my hypothetical?
Yeah, did the race change of the child?
In my hypothetical, they will still be Black because me and my wife are Black. Yeah.
Okay, so isn't that what I've been saying to you the whole time?
That's not
like even though a genetic mutation happened, they are still
because the thing is, you said that you were wrong. It was still wrong because you said built around. That is what you said.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm like, in the context of the conversation that you started, meanwhile, because this conversation initially started because of the term woke being used by far right conservatives, like in a bigoted way, like taken from racial injustice, right? Okay. Using it to be bigoted. And you proved that point because the first thing you came up here and did would be a bigot regarding this issue. Okay, so so here is the thing, right?
What's your definition of bigot? If you're going to throw it around, what's the definition?
Sir, don't talk over me.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. If you're going to throw around insults, tell me what it means so I can disprove it.
A bigot is someone who's intolerant of other people.
Okay.
Very easy.
Of other people. Thing. I'm not intolerant of other people.
No,
I'm
you're very
of the ideas.
intolerant, it seems like.
What ideas? What ideas?
Well, like the ones that I brought up.
Like being transgender. Being transgender is not an idea, bro.
These are people.
No. Of lying to people.
Everyone's against lying to
change your sex.
To people.
Hold on, Sin. Everyone is against lying to people, unless you're a pathological liar, unless you're Donald Trump. Everyone is against lying to people, okay? Yeah, so most of you are against lying to people, unless you're a Trump sycophant, because they lie all the time. But everybody's against lying to people, most normal people, right? But someone who's transgender is not lying to you.
Yes,
that's who they are.
No,
oh, wait, you're transgender?
No, I'm not. I don't feed into that delusion.
Right, you're lying to me.
Delusion.
You're lying to me.
You can't change your gender.
You realize that transgender people have existed for all of human history, correct?
The idea.
And also,
it's not an idea. If it existed all throughout human history, how's it an idea?
Because by transgender, if you mean people who think they're something else, then yes, they'd have it.
They're not. They don't
think they're something else.
They do think they not actually are. Right? Again,
but you just said that gender is a social category. It's not something that's inherently biological. It's a social category.
No.
You agreed because you just said
gender is a social category. I did not say that.
Gender is necessarily a social category because you said in the beginning that we wouldn't call a 5-year-old female a woman. So it's necessarily a social category.
That doesn't make that makes no sense.
Yes.
No. You would call them a girl.
Yes.
That is a gender.
Is a woman
girl's gender?
How,
right? It's a classification of the age, the development.
It's a classification of a certain type of development, right? That's what you just said. All right, great.
Yeah.
All right, great. Is a 16-year-old a woman or a girl?
A girl.
A girl. In our country, correct?
You can argue legality all you want.
Hold on, Sin. I'm not arguing legality. I'm not arguing legality, Sin. I'm not arguing legality. I said in our society, a 16-year-old is still a girl, right? Or a boy.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, cool. If you go to the Amazon jungle right now, in their society, is a 16-year-old a woman and a man? Yeah. Yeah, they are. Which means if it changes by your society, what is it? A social category.
You're arguing the legality, but
I'm not. I'm not arguing legality. I didn't say nothing about legal.
Okay.
I didn't say anything about the law. Sin. I didn't say anything. Sin. Be quiet. I didn't say anything about the law.
Because you keep on coming off. No, because I dropped him because he kept on coming off of you. Like you can't talk over. Because I directed them several times. But here's the thing, like Funny thing is, he was about to admit my point that you can change your snacks by characteristics and by your thing. You can do that. Okay. And the thing is, the fact that you can alter your body means that.
I don't know how I made this extremely simple.
Even in his own definition of adult human female, let's say, like, for example, someone who's post-operative, they would fit that definition because their bodies are congruent physically with that.
My goodness. And I don't know how could have made it any more simple. And I compared societies, not legalities. This is crazy.
But Fables, based on his logic, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Based on his logic.
Hey, shout out to Collapsism. He sent me a $2 super chat saying he is so dumb.
Oh, by the way, Fables is my mod on my Fables. I'm gonna go live soon, girl. Hey sis, I miss you. How was your day, girlie?
Shout out to Fables. How's it going, Fables? I'm not gonna be on.
Fables.
I'm not gonna be on because I got some shit to do. But
it's your birthday weekend. You saying
birthday weekend, and you saw I just took an Eddie Winslow. So if I go live,
I didn't actually see that actually.
Oh, you didn't see me take one? I took one, but
no.
Yeah, I took half of one because these are powerful. Let me tell you, they're called
based on logic. If either one of us were born and they're fertile, neither one of us are women, according to him.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Because he said in particular that it's about what your body is built around, like you're basically your ability to reproduce. That's basically what he said. Meanwhile, and that argument falls short because, like, oh well, not that you can do it, but your body is built around it. Like, how can your body be built around something that it cannot do? So I'm like, so you're saying, I'm like, and you know, he was going to basically have to concede to that because I said, so you know, SRS removes gonads, right? It changes the function of your genitalia, so that would mean it alters it, meaning that what it was originally built around is no longer originally built around, so it changed.
God, it's just
it changed.
Hilarious.
So I'm like, so you made that person change their sexual characteristics. They changed their phenotypic smacks. They changed their physical smacks. And he was going to do everything but try to concede to that because he couldn't.
Yeah, he couldn't at all. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Man, it's been a good night, so I'm gonna go ahead and start to let the high kick in, and I'm gonna have a quiet night with my lady tonight.
Oh, by the way, yes. By the way, I think I followed her. She be looking real cute.
You said what?
I think we follow each other now on TikTok. I think.
Oh, you said she'd be looking cute in the TikTok videos?
Yeah, I'm like, she be looking all cute and moisturized and stuff.
Oh yeah. Her skincare routine is amazing. I told her she got to go ahead and let me get some of that because I got to get my skin popping,
Well, you live with her. I'm like, hell, when I had a boyfriend, all he did was steal from my skincare stuff.
Yeah, she get pissed. Yeah, she get pissed that I steal from.
I used to get so aggravated by that.
I'm like, babe, your lotion is fire. Like, I gotta get some of that oil.
I know it's fire. That's why I bought it, nigga. The fuck? I'm like, bitch.
I'm like, man,
and now I ain't got no when I get out of the shower, you bitch.
No, I'll be leaving her some.
I'm like, and when I get out of the shower, I do lotion, I do baby oil, listen, I'm like, I don't play about Ash. I don't do that.
He's like, nah, she
I am not an ashy girly. I do not play about that.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do the ash. My people's told me that very, very early. You can't be going out there looking all crazy, looking all ashy.
I'm like ashy. Ashy is anti-black.
Exactly, it's very anti-black. my mom. I remember one time my mom told me, "I did not jump on boat from Port-au-Prince for you to go to school looking like volcano." Okay.
I'm like, why does that sound like something my Black American parents would have said? Like, but outside, the accent.
Man, she was so pissed. I went to school ashy, bro. She said never do that shit.
I'm like, I did not. And their version like, I did not survive Jim Crow, so I'm like, y'all to integrate, so y'all could go to school
ashy. Like, ain't no way you doing that.
Like, listen. Why are Black people so dramatic?
Dramatic,
like, why?
bro.
Why are Black parents so dramatic like this? Like, why are they like this?
Why are like this, bro? So dramatic. Oh, let me go ahead and get out of here, man.
Especially Black mothers. Like, why are you like this? Like,
Mom, why you like that? It's not that serious, Mom. Oh my goodness. All right, let me go ahead and get out of here, Kay. But hey, I appreciate you. Come back anytime. Tomorrow, I'm gonna try to go live, but I may be out because she got a whole thing planned.
Your
birthday weekend. She got a whole thing planned, so I'm gonna be out tomorrow. But I'll definitely be back Sunday, though. All right.
Okay, I'm like, well, enjoy your birthday weekend, love.
Definitely will. Appreciate you.
I'm like, and you're still old. Anyway, bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm old as hell. I'm old as hell, y'all. I am old as hell. It's chapter 39, y'all. It's chapter 39, and I'm old as hell. So, hey, but y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the night. Me and wife are gonna have a quiet time tonight. Tomorrow we're gonna be going out. I'm not sure she's taking me though, man. She may take me to the strip club. She may take me somewhere, but I don't know where I'm going tomorrow. But we're gonna go somewhere. But tonight I'm chilling. Went ahead and popped the pill, and then not pop the pill, but I went ahead and popped something. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Oxy or Onyx, matter of fact, go ahead and come back tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Come back Sunday, because tomorrow I may not be on. So remember, y'all, tomorrow may not be on. It's my birthday weekend. Me and wifey is going out. I'm gonna be drunk and high at the same time. So we're gonna have a good time. And let me go and get out of here. So remember, everybody, to be safe, be out there, but also to be soft. All right. I think every man should be soft. Be secure. Be affectionate. Be wise. Be flexible. And be trustworthy. Everybody should be soft. All men should be soft. Thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all have a good night. All right. Peace.